Hi, and welcome to the 2025 Mackenzie podcast, episode 2, part 2, which is proudly brought to you by Team CPNZ, your endurance coaching specialists. I'm Richard Gree, your team captain, and today on the show, we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. I finished up part 1 with a break, telling you to get yourself a drink, sit back for a moment. We're going to be right back after a quick break. But in reality, what happened is I ended up cooking tea, and then we had our group Zwift session that I ran, and then I was pretty gassed after that. So we're a day later, but we're still just as enthusiastic about the Mackenzie and all the stories that were told on the finish line. So for those that missed part 1, this podcast is recorded at the finish line of the Mackenzie while finishers are sitting back, soaking up their achievement in the sun, eating burgers and drinking beers. So my job today is to bring that all together in one streamlined podcast for you to watch or to listen to. We're going to speak to a number of people that were first over the line, those that made each aid station part of the event as well. So we're going to catch up with Kerry and some of her team as we go. So we're going to kick off the show with Sophie Shallard, who was the first female home in the 75k Hunterway event that completed the same course as the muster, but cut the road section out at the start. So grab that Milo, sit back, grab the beanbag. Here is episode 2, part 2 of the Mackenzie podcast, kicking off with Sophie at the finish line.
And of the Mackenzie, I've got Sophie. Sophie, you were out there riding was it the Hunterway?
Yep,
the
Hunterway,
72 Ks?
71 on my Strava.
Okay. Yeah, nice. So I obviously you guys started ahead of us, and you were the first person I saw coming back the other way. I didn't recognise it was you. All I saw was like a big smile. I was like,
yeah.
So tell us about your ride. How did you get on today?
Yeah, it was really fun. At the start, I was kind of waiting around for a few people to go like off the front, so I kind of had to hang back a bit.
Right, so you were sort of waiting for some wheels to follow, sort of thing, but there kind of just wasn't.
And then there was another guy that me and him went off on the front, and then halfway I think dropped him, but I came off at the turnaround point.
Oh, did you like in the river crossings or?
Like right before.
Okay.
I was just a bit like flustered because I went the wrong way and I just went, whoop.
It wasn't particularly easy to try and figure out exactly where you were going at that stage.
Really,
and probably you were the first person to get there as well, so they probably didn't sort of realise how to
really
point you.
direct me.
Yeah, okay. So you were sort of trying to figure it out for the rest of us, basically.
Yeah.
Crash test dummy, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Okay. So fell off there, and you were leading the race at that stage.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. But when you were coming back the other way, you were still leading the race as well. So you obviously kind of got yourself sorted.
Yeah. I think I lost like a couple minutes, but I was just looking behind me the whole time. When are they going to catch me?
Yeah. Okay.
And then I think the guy caught me. His name's Ian, I think.
Okay.
We had the exact same bike.
Oh,
purple,
really? Okay.
Yeah,
so part
purple
of it.
epic.
Yeah.
Oh, when did he catch me? Like just about at where we started.
I see. Okay.
The cafe.
Yes.
Checkpoint thing.
Yeah. So you would you say that you go better on the hills, the steeper stuff, and then he was able to just kind of grind it out on the flatter bits?
I would usually say I'm better on the hills, but he was motored. Like that's where he got me. Up the hills.
Yeah. And how did you find the track and the trail? Like it was pretty rough in places.
Real rough. I'm glad I wasn't on a gravel bike because that would have been horrible. It was really technical. It was just bumpy along the cliff.
Yes. And sharp rocks, you kind of had to be aware of those as well, didn't you? In terms of that. Do you want to swap sides, and then I can look into the sun?
Thanks.
Yeah. Look at that. We're rolling as we go. So, coming into this, when did you decide you'd actually do it?
About yesterday, 7:30.
What's today? That's Saturday. That's Friday. That must have been like the last minute entry of that you're possibly allowed.
Yeah.
Or did you kind of bend Kerry's arm to say, "Can I please enter"?
I don't know. I just messaged them online, and they said, come to Reggio and see."
Okay.
Because Mum and Dad both did it.
Okay. And what events did they do?
Mum did the 32, and then Dad did the Hunterway, same as me.
Okay. Right. So did you beat Dad?
I did. Yeah, I think he was hurting a bit.
Was he? Yeah,
he just wanted it to finish.
Yeah, I think you mentioned like maybe he probably wouldn't be so keen to chat, but you're quite looking reasonably fresh right now. So we'll take that. That's good. Nice one. So in terms of your preparation, like how much bike riding you've been doing. Like you decided yesterday, how much training you've been doing for this?
I have not been doing that much training because after Coast, I thought I had just a wee ankle sprain, but it's actually peroneal tendinopathy.
Okay.
Which is really
Doesn't
annoying.
sound very exciting, to
No,
deal with.
yeah. So I haven't really been biking that much because it usually gets a bit irritated afterwards. But I'm feeling pretty good now.
Right, so maybe you need to do some more rough, rugged, four-wheel drive mountain biking type bike riding, and then we're good. But like you did that after Coast. We saw you at Coast, but the week before that you were quite busy as well.
Yeah.
You did the magnificent adventure race.
Yeah, probably a bit stupid.
So there's a fair bit going on.
Yeah.
It must feel good, like obviously that time off, you do train quite a lot. It must feel good to come back and kind of pin a number on and do an event. And feel good at the finish line as well.
Bit of fun.
Yeah.
Even
Nice.
if I did struggle at the end, bonking a bit.
Yeah. Okay. But so what was the high point for you out there today? What was the bit that you enjoyed the most?
Oh, actually seeing other people on the way back, like you, my dad, some other guys that I know.
Yeah.
And everyone was so like encouraging. They're like, woo, go. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, well done. Go and bask in your glory, and hopefully your ankle gets better and better, and you're able to kind of get stuck in and do a bit more going forward. What is the plan going forward? Obviously, ankle sorted first.
I'm getting an MRI and then I don't know, to be honest.
Okay, just see how that goes and go from there. Nice work. Well, we need a high five. Good job. Well done, Sophie.
Just like that. Sophie's definitely a real talented, super enthusiastic. Great to see her at the finish line enjoying a fantastic day out. So well done, Sophie. We're going to move on to Chris. Chris Sherwood had a different experience on the course, enjoyed some bacon buddies and got home smiling. Over to you, Chris.
Be bad, to be fair.
Yeah, good. And you've got the medal on. What would you give us a weather report? Like you love some stats and facts.
Well, it started off a bit inclement, to be fair, and then came pretty good.
Yeah,
Good. No, it was good. It was a great day out. Wee bit of rain at the top. Misty rain, and then fine and sunny on the way home.
Did you put sun cream on this morning before you left? Were you sort of?
I might have been a bit early for that.
Okay, because it was dark till like 7:30 or so, wasn't it? And then kind of misty and rainy. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good. So tell us about your day. What was your highlight of the day today?
I think just finishing.
Okay.
You know,
did you put a bit? There's a wee bit of an up through here. Did you put a bit of extra oomph in the pedals to finish looking good, or did you just kind of cruise in?
Look, it felt good to be riding past people going uphill.
Okay.
Around past Mount John, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then a nice bit of single track to finish.
Yep. Did it get ugly at any point? There was any point that your bottom lip was out and there was a wee tear just about coming on? No. So you actually managed to pace yourself pretty well. Yeah, nice. And what about the aid stations? One of the aid stations smelt really good. And I was like, I'd love to stop, but I can't right now. Did you stop at the aid station?
To be fair, I did.
Okay, good. And what fare did you sample when you were at the aid station?
I had Bacon Buddy.
Okay.
Bacon Buddy and
which
a
I've got another
Coke.
one just here. Yep.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was just what I needed to.
Yeah, good. And what distance were you? How far through the event when you had your Bacon Buddy?
I was on the way back, on the way home.
Okay.
So we're probably.
Was that at the 4 square one, the 70k one? Okay.
Yeah.
Rolled in there. Was there deck chairs there? Did you put your feet up, or did you?
I didn't have that much. It wasn't a luxury
Oh,
stop.
I'm here for. I'm racing. I will get my Bacon Buddy, but I'm not here for a holiday. Yeah. Okay. Well done. That's good. Good to hear that. Otherwise, the word might get out that you're not really taking this seriously.
I had the boss on my tail.
Yeah.
She was. No, what are you stopping for?
Did Joe get a Bacon Buddy, or did you share half of it with her?
She had jet planes. I saw that.
Okay, right. So it was just looking after number one by the sounds of that. No, well done, Chris. So well done.
Awesome.
You've got a beautiful day to kind of sit back, relax, and bask in your glory. And probably might be time for another Bacon Buddy, or maybe you need to shout Joe for one.
I wouldn't be that serious.
Well done. We better cut there, otherwise it might get out of hand. Well done.
Yeah, you might get me in trouble.
Yeah, good job, Chris.
Few off just in time, Chris. Well done on a great effort, and great to be making the most of those fantastic aid stations that Kerry and the Scenic Sports crew put together as part of this event. It's a fantastic day out and a day to be had by all. We're going to jump to the front of the event now. We're going to have a chat to Sam Shaw, who was second in the longest, the drover coming in. So let's jump to Sam Shaw.
Finish line, and we've just had the prize givings done. People are shuffling out. The day's done. We're here with Sam Shaw, who won the drover. Was that correct?
Yep,
Yes,
correct.
and
yeah.
you were riding a mountain bike today.
Yeah. I chose the mountain bike option specifically because I thought it'd be a really good way to test to see what was actually quicker. 'Cause
Okay.
Jeremy and I are usually pretty close together, so I thought it was a really good representation.
Right. Okay. Good. So I get what's your answer? Is it quicker?
Well, that kind of answered it. Yeah, the gravel bike was a lot quicker than me today.
Okay.
There's a few things I reckon I could improve on to make myself a bit quicker, but that's the result.
The drover starts with a fair bit, like you're riding along the canals, quite smooth gravel. Sum up the course for us, for those of us that haven't ridden it and probably won't ever ride it.
So I'd say the first 80 to 90 kilometres of the drover is strictly gravel.
Yep.
And then you kind of get into the rougher stuff where you would benefit from having a mountain bike.
Yeah.
I kind of that's where I lost contact with Presbury just before the mountain bike section.
Oh, it's okay.
And every time we hit some smooth gravel, I could see him disappearing.
Okay.
And every time we got to the mountain bike sections, he'd come back again.
Okay, right. So he was inside. He wasn't miles away.
No, he wasn't until we turned around at the end of the lake about 110 or 120 k's into it, and then he really disappeared.
Okay, right, yeah. And how did
I was tired.
How did your nutrition go? How do you manage that in a race that took five? What'd you do?
5:30 for me.
30, yeah, okay.
My nutrition today was horrific, I would say. We're talking 2 bottles of water and 2 cans of Monster Energy.
Okay.
And that was kind of all that kind of went down. And a couple of 1 square meals.
Right, okay.
I ran out of everything about 50 k's from the line.
It's a long way from the line, just between you and I. Yeah.
And was really out of energy the whole way home.
Okay, right. So was that a planned move, or actually you've got a little one here? Or is that I've just got stuff on, I'm not going to be quite as organised as I normally am? What happened there?
That was there's stuff on this week, and nutrition got pushed to the back of the list.
Okay.
I kind of forgot how far 170 k's actually is on a mountain bike.
Yeah. Was the angry Monster Energy drink the saviour? Where did you pick up that at an aid station? Where did that happen? Or was that from the Foursquare last night?
That was from the Foursquare last night.
Yeah.
That was pre-planned. That actually kept me going really strong for about 100 k's, and then it ran out. And yeah, that was it.
Right, so 2 Monster Energy drinks as a takeaway for next year.
Yeah, so maybe 3 next year.
Yeah.
And some more lollies and gels maybe.
Yeah,
We'd really get the job done.
Good job. What do you love about this race? You can probably hear in the background a fair bit going on, people talking. There's a pretty cool atmosphere for prize giving. Everyone's kind of hung around. What in terms of the whole event?
Yeah, I reckon for this one it's the people. It's really cool how the whole community here in Tekapo gets together and puts it on. There's a lot of volleys, and it kind of draws everyone in from all over the place. So there's quite a lot of random mates that I have that just turn up here, and quite a lot of people actually. So it's just a well-run, good event.
Yeah.
They seem to have moved it to a date where the weather's always good. So
yes. It is a nice time of year, isn't it? Yeah, well done. So will you be back?
Yeah,
on the gravel bike?
Well, that's what I'm yet to decide. I think if I come back with a better plan, it'd be really good to test the old mountain bike versus gravel bike again.
Okay, mountain bike with 3 Monster Energy drinks. Let's go.
Let's go.
Well done. Hey, thanks for your time. Well done. Go put your feet up.
Thanks so much.
Good job.
Just like that, big shout out to the Foursquare for helping Sam survive through to the finish line with the 1 Monster Energy drink. Fantastic effort, all the same, on the mountain bike to hold Jeremy Presbury in sight. And that might have been one of the reasons why Jeremy went past me so quickly, because he had just dropped Sam just up the way a little bit. It was more than just trying to pass me, I think, from that. We're going to jump over to Lizzie and Anna. Lizzie and Anna had an awesome day in their Hawaiian shirts. Lizzie and Anna, let's bring them on.
Going on, we've got Lizzie and Anna. Pretty happy to be here. Great to see you out on course as well, and you look like you were having a bunch of fun out there. You've got your smiley Hawaiian shirts on as well. Was that part of the reason why you were sort of, I guess, having more fun, because you're looking good at the same time?
Yeah, I feel like when you don't do the training, you've kind of got to make up for it by trying to have a bit more fun.
Okay. Yep.
So I think we achieved that today.
Good. Nice. And Lizzie, tell us about your training. Let's start there, but before the event bit. That laugh probably denotes that there wasn't a huge amount of training happen?
None.
Zero.
I mean, I went bikepacking last weekend, but yeah, it was only 30 k's both days. So
How long did that take you?
3 hours up and 1.5 down, because it was up the valley. one day and down the second, so that was quite nice. But that was pretty much it.
Okay, well, I think you're underselling yourself there, Lizzie. That's fantastic. And what about you, Anna? How did your training schedule go sort of leading into this?
I did nothing for 3 weeks post-coast and then tried to do motor tapu.
Okay.
And then I think I biked a couple of times since then, but yeah.
Okay, so what were the goals coming in today? Was it just to have some fun out there? Was it to see if I can do this? Because you were not racing last year, but you were tailing Charlie last year, Anna.
Yeah, tailing Charlie for they said it was 50-something and it was 70-something, so
Okay.
yeah, dragging people through that last 20 Ks, getting home last year. But yeah, different kettle of fish when they send you up and back on the same side. Yeah.
And in terms of now, like how was your day today compared to last year? Like obviously you're hanging out with a whole bunch of people that are just trying to get home. Today you were hanging out with Lizzie. Which was harder?
Well, she didn't swear at me, so that was a start. Yeah.
She did or didn't?
Didn't.
I think
Yeah.
I think I
We-
behaved quite well.
I think we got to. Yeah, it was good.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. What was your highlight of the day, Lizzie?
finishing.
Finishing. And what about that beer? Is that beer ranking?
Beer, yeah,
Okay, good stuff. Nice work. And since you've done all this training now, Lizzie, like does this mean you're going to springboard into other stuff?
I'm actually planning to do a month bike trip around the South Island next year. So this is kind of the beginning of, training for that. Yeah, bike packing for a month.
That's awesome. Are you going to join Lizzie on that bike packing trip? No. Based on today?
No.
Would you like to?
No.
No. Okay, right. And what was your highlight, Anna?
The sun coming out. Yeah. A couple of the river crossings were quite a bit of fun as well. People didn't believe me that you could ride through them.
Yes. How did you go? Which river crossings? Is one right at the top?
No, the one that you fell off in.
There's quite a few of those. Which one was that?
Oh, well, you were coming one way and fell off because you were trying to go around people, and we were going the other way. And I was like, this is totally rideable. And then there was like a few rocks, and it wasn't at that point. So
It got quite deep actually as part of that. But that's all part of the fun of it. So you managed to ride most of the river crossings?
I did. It was kind of like a little badge of honour.
Yep.
Yeah. Just having some fun with it. Yeah. Turned out the one at the top was a little bit swift, and yeah.
That's good. And in terms of there was all this mud, and then you come into the river crossings as well, which kind of washed all that mud away. Were you upset that river crossing happened and washed that mud away? Because that's a bit of a badge of honour as well.
No.
No. Okay.
No. The gears are so cooked. It sounded pretty horrific coming home. So I was like. Yeah, I was trying to wash stuff off as we went, but more. Inevitably, there was more mud, more dust, more something else. Just
into the bike shop is what needs to be, and the aid stations. Tell us about that. Did you stop, put your feet up, have a bacon buddy? What was going on at the aid stations?
Oh hell yeah! First aid station, I think there was pancakes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, got into the pancakes a little bit. Came back, they'd run out, and so I think that was gone. She went for scone, I went for an apple and a shitload of lollies, and then definitely got into the bacon buddy.
Because there was some good vibes going on at the aid stations, wasn't there? There was lots of people. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a party going on here.
Yeah. The girls at the far one, they were obviously all dressed up with hair rollers and little pinnies on. It was very cute. And then guys at the next place were sort of having a party, had the music pumping. And so it was great vibes.
Good job. So well done, Kerry. Well done, Mackenzie. You guys need to probably beer of one, or two, or three. How many? Well, we'll see. We'll leave it there. Well done, team.
Well done, Hannah. Well done, Lizzie. All the best for your bikepacking adventure, Lizzie. Hopefully that goes well. Now we've got some training under the belt, and thanks for the support through the river crossing as well, Anna. That's much appreciated. You would have enjoyed if you were with me a little bit later, Anna, as I come down one of the hills. I just got passed by another guy, actually, and I was trying to hang on to him on a downhill. He was on a gravel bike with suspension on the front as well, and I was doing my best to keep up down the hill. And there was just like a little 30-centimetre kind of creek that went through. And as I hit that, my front wheel got sort of hit a big rock. I got cramp in my left quad at the same time and almost got bucked over the front right. So, but just managed to hold it, which was very lucky. And that also meant that I gave myself an uppercut to just chill out a little bit, get down in one piece. But you would have very much enjoyed that, Anna, if you had seen that one happen. We're going to jump across to Jeremy Presbury, who was the winner of the Drover, and we've already had a chat to Sam, but let's have a chat to Jeremy and see what he had to say about his event.
With Jeremy Presbury, who was the first home in the Drover. You rode your gravel bike. We've just spoken to Sam about his tactical decision to ride the mountain bike and see how that lined up. Kerry mentioned in the prize giving that I'd said to her that you went past me like I was standing still. And I was like, like my story is like I hear this guy passing or rider or something like that. You see it, it's like, first of all, why is he behind me? Because he's going so fast. What's going on there? And then it sort of didn't click that the drover had already caught us up on the way back home again. You were absolutely flying. Like, tell us about your day. How did it go? What was your tactics out there today?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, like, it was a bit of chat last week about bike choice.
Yeah.
A couple of the boys who had done the 90k loop last year had sort of said that, you know, she was pretty rough going on the gravel bike, so hence why Sam chose to ride his mountain bike today. I guess it was a wee bit different because we had that additional, what was it, 80 odd K added on, and that was all pretty much
and it was
road.
out and back on the rough stuff here, but yeah, you guys had the real road-based, gravel-based riding.
Exactly. So it was really well suited to a gravel bike.
Yeah.
So I guess the tactic was probably to try and keep the pace relatively hot on that stuff, because I knew it was obviously going to be a wee bit harder for boys on the mountain bikes. Just with the bigger tyres and being a bit more upright in the wind. So tried to keep the pace hot in there, and then just kind of, I think it got to a point where we were sort of halfway up the lake, and I noticed that Sam was getting his pack off, and all of a sudden I sort of looked around and he wasn't there anymore. I think he had dropped a bottle or something like that.
Okay, right, yeah.
So I tried to just basically ride at a pace and stay composed. And
hard but not crazy silly.
Correct. Yeah. And I'd sort of had a chat with my coach before the race, and he's sort of given me some ideas of numbers to try and hold. And it was good to have that. I've only sort of started with working with a coach in the last sort of month or so. And working with power and all that sort of interesting stuff. So kind of, it's good to have that sort of guide to get through it all.
So can we talk about some numbers? Are you happy to share some numbers?
Yeah.
So what were you looking to ride to today? What was your plan?
So the idea was to try and not really spike too much higher than 400 watts for long periods of time.
And long periods being like 2, 3, 4 minutes up climbs.
So it was kind of like, I guess when I was pacing, it was trying to, when I was sort of off the front by myself, it was trying to keep below 400.
300 number is okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's pretty broad.
Yes.
But and at times I'd look down up a steeper pinch and you're doing 500-600 watts plus, and I sort of look down and go, right, I need to take it easy a wee bit. And then on the flat, you know, obviously it's pretty hard to hold anything close to 400 watts for a long period of time, but it was sort of good having that sort of guide as well.
Because that kept you more even, and you're able to put the effort in on the flat and keep the ball rolling kind of thing.
That's it. I think it was good for me. My strength on the gravel bike is the flatter, smoother stuff, so I could sort of get in a nice tucked-in position and
have some
try
legs.
and hold a decent pace.
Good. And just for those people that do power out there, do we, like, relatively speaking, it's all relative, like what would your FTP kind of number be?
I think it's around 380, 390 watts.
Okay, right.
I think.
Not
100% sure on that. But I don't know how that sort of stands up, but So at or not too much above that FTP number is sort of what you were not trying to go over. And coming into today, like Sam talked about his nutrition strategy. It was a bit ropey by the sound of things. What was your plan? Were you organised before the race? Yeah, I tried to be, although losing a bottle on the way back with 90 grams of carbs in it didn't really help the case too much.
It was bumpy though, wasn't it? I looked down to have a bottle and it was gone.
So I try and run I was running sort of like quite thick hair ties on my bottle cage, which just sort of hold onto your bottle. And they worked well until they didn't, and then one of them ripped off and took the bottle with it. So, but I'd planned to have about 110 grams of carbs per hour. And I had that on me, and that was based off the race being 6 hours. So it was probably okay that I lost. Well, not ideal that I lost a bottle, but
it was okay.
It was okay, and there was a lot of carbs consumed yesterday leading into the event, which I guess kind of helps, with a bit of a buffer as well. Same with breakfast before the race.
What is your breakfast before the race, and what's your tea the night before?
Tea night before, horribly boring, is just a huge bowl of pasta with just a plain tomato sauce.
How much can I eat? Okay, right.
Correct, pretty much until I can't eat anymore.
And any desserts?
Maybe, probably just some chocolate.
Okay,
and
right.
Probably as much as I feel like I want, or or can eat. I heard a story about a 70.3 Ironman triathlete,
Yep.
his carb loading the night before consisted of, I think it was like 2 blocks of Whitakers and 2 bags of lollies or something like that.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, there's no fibre there, is it? It's
exactly.
just sugar.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Fuel me up.
And then breakfast is just 2 bagels and just a bit of honey and
Yep.
couple cups of black coffee and
into it.
Yeah, that's it.
Good stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Well, it's really interesting to sort of get a bit of an understanding of that.
Yeah.
Nice one. So, what was your highlight today? What was the best part about the Mackenzie for you?
I think it was probably all the people out riding at the same time.
Yep.
When we drop or come in onto the lake course, you know, linked into we basically dropped into that course and we linked into the tail end Charlie car.
Yep.
And in front of that was just a sea of people. It was a spectacle, eh? Like as that road sort of, you know, weaves its way up and around, it was just lined with.
And you know where you're going because you can see all the people in front of you. Yeah,
exactly. Like it was epic, and it's cool. Like I mean, gravel and mountain biking's popular as ever in New Zealand, so it's pretty cool to see. It would have been cool to see a few more people maybe in our category on the gravel bikes, but that's all right. Like it's a big race, so it's understandable that not everyone's going to drop everything to come do it. But I think that was it. The amount of people.
Nice.
It was
and did
awesome.
you find traffic was an issue with all those people in front of you? Because obviously people were trying to keep left as well, and you were kind of trying to squeak past.
Yeah, I was doing my best to give people a bit of warning if I was coming up behind, but up the top when it got pretty narrow and there was kind of 2 pretty obvious lines, and sort of especially in the mud.
Yes.
And then you didn't really want to hop out and get into the middle.
Yeah.
So sometimes you had to sort of try and time it quite well to get a run at someone and then go into the
quickly.
lane. And then on the way back it was a wee bit problematic because there was a lot more traffic coming in the opposite direction. People still going up to the turnaround point. So it was at times, but you just sort of had to be patient every now and again, or try and maybe time a bit of a hard run to get around someone before someone comes opposite direction.
And everyone's really good about it as well, aren't they? They're all helping, like they're not wanting to be in your way or anything like that. And,
that's it.
Yeah, and you're right. Like it's just about sometimes you have to be a little bit patient just to make sure.
Yeah, well, you have to remember that everyone's out there doing a race.
Yes,
and whether it doesn't matter if they're in first place or last place. They're still they're still competitive and they're still wanting to have a crack.
Do
so
the best,
you kind of got to give them their time as well.
Yeah, good stuff. So what's next for you? Where are you off to next?
Couple more Gravel in Paradise series races. It's a good series that we have sort of down around the Otago region.
Yes.
And then still tossing up maybe 1 or 2 gravel races in Australia. Just see how funding goes. It's a bit of a commitment to go and do it, but if I can make it work, then that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
both of them are in May, so we'll see. Otherwise, she'll probably just be a big old winter of gym, cold rides, and skiing, and then crack into training for hopefully Tour of Southland for the first time, and back into Edition Zero as well near the end of the year.
So lots of good stuff to look forward to. Hopefully you get across to get to Australia. You obviously got some form, you got some leagues at the moment, so nice to go and sort of ruffle a few feathers over there and see how good you can go.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Well, we need to give you a high five. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing, and well done today. It was awesome to see you out there.
Cheers.
Yeah, good stuff. Cheers, Jeremy.
Just like that. Great to get an insight of these guys at the front of the field and what they're doing nutritionally, which is really interesting. Quite a contrast to what Sam was doing. And then also how that Jeremy is using his power meter to pace himself as well. That's a really interesting thing, just making sure he doesn't have those spikes of effort. If you don't have a power meters can be expensive. A heart rate monitor is a good way to do that as well. Again, just not having those spikes in effort as you're trying to ride. And it can especially happen in the first hour or so of your ride when you're enthusiastic and you're keen and you're feeling fresh. So make sure that you sort of keep a lid on it so you can still be useful towards the back end. And obviously Jeremy did a good job of his nutrition so we could keep putting that power down towards the later end. So interesting to follow Jeremy's journey, obviously in Tour of Southland ideally, and then heading over to Australia. So all the best for that, Jeremy. We're going to wrap up the show today with Kerry Uren, the race director. A fantastic event. There's not a bad word said. It's all been super positive, and she even had the sun to come out at the end of the day as well. So going to hand it over to Kerry's interview to wrap us up.
Mackenzie, we're here with the head honcho of the Mackenzie, Kerry Uren. Kerry, do you know what time of the day it is today? right now?
No, it feels like it's about midnight.
Still sunny. What's going on?
Like
You've had a big day. I'm not sure if you went to sleep last night.
No, we did. I slept.
You did do some sleeping, yeah. What time were you up this morning?
We set the alarm for 3.
Okay,
so, yep.
And how were you feeling this morning? Like, obviously, registration's done. People are kind of organised.
Yep.
Were you listening to the weather and what's going on?
Yes, my husband said at one point in the night, "What's that noise?" And I said, "I think it's the fridge," because I was like, "Oh no, we're not going to go there." So I thought we'd all sleep then. It was a wee bit. The showers were here this morning was a bit of a surprise because they weren't really forecast. But then it's lifted. I mean, and look, it keeps laying it on. This place is amazing.
Smithy said he got that organised. He needed a bit of rain this morning.
Yeah,
so
the farmers are happy.
Sort of
the merino.
It's all part of it. Yeah, that's right. So, race director, you got a big job. There's still things happening. There's still people out on the course, but there's some stories that have happened today as well. Have you got any sort of stories that have come back because you're involved with the communications of what's happening out on course?
Yeah, it's been a fun day. I think I love the fact this area is called the legendary Mackenzie, and I say it in the briefing because there's always so many like legendary stories coming out. Like even our we had a wee pond up on the farm that there were, how deep it was. It turns out that
I think you said in the briefing it's like about knee deep.
Yeah.
But you probably won't be able to ride through. But if the guy in front of you rides through it, that'll be sweet. But if he can't,
don't go that way.
Don't go that way. Yeah, that's right.
So,
then Rich, the safety guy, was up there and he said, it's about a bit knee deep, but it's quite deep.
Yeah.
But about knee deep. I went through it. It felt like it was almost up to my. It was definitely mid-thigh.
Yeah,
it was probably coming on to waist.
I think there'll be some little ladies that would have got up to their waist.
Yeah.
We saw some footage. It was pretty deep. So I think he didn't get across the river, but I think there was plenty of water. Yeah. It was fun.
And what about, you mentioned before there was one of your officials that was cooking some bacon for his wife as part of that. What was happening there?
So we had some Landsar crew up the lake, and they were just marshals, not an aid station.
Yep.
And they had set himself up. He had a barbecue. He had all sorts going on for breakfast because they were there really early.
Okay, yep.
And a rider went past and thought that it was an aid station and stole his bacon. So yes, they didn't get their feed. So
did they steal all his bacon?
I think he stole his breakfast bacon. So it's pretty funny. Some of our other marshals told us it's just that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
surely you get a a number on that.
I thought you stole the bacon. So it's like a kid's fairy tale, isn't it? So so pretty funny. But no, just really cool stories. Like you were riding with a guy and he broke his derailleur and then he ran the last 2K.
Yeah, on the runner bike.
Yeah.
Number. He was going really well actually. We rode together for a bit and I sort of kind of got away from him a little bit and I was just looking over my shoulder. Is he coming back? And I was trying my hardest. But unfortunately, just before that tricky little single track section, he broke his derailleur, went into his spokes and the derailleur come clean off.
That's not good.
No,
he did a good run back though. I think he was sort of looked a bit sore when he finished. Exactly. That's what the race has turned into. No, but it's just been. I think everyone's been really awesome about the fact that about the river. I mean, it's still even this time this afternoon. It just takes so long to come down. It's still running way too high.
Well,
We'd
it's
never
all
have got
weather
across.
that's happened on the west coast,
it has,
isn't it?
and it all just feeds in. So everyone's been really good about it. And I think actually the fact we've had twice the time on the farm I had one lady come back. She did the full loop last year and then did the B course this year, and she actually liked it better. So I'm like, actually, there's
which
a
was pretty
bonus.
technical. There was a fair bit going on. Like there was pretty rough, and then also like one part of it is like you've got other riders coming the other way as well. So you had to really keep your eye of what's going on there too. So that made it just another sort of level of. Oh, there's a fair bit going on. I have to think about what I'm doing here. I
think it was like someone said it was type 2 fun. So I think it was a pretty cool day. But really fast times. Like Jeremy Presbury was in the drover, so they started at 6. And then we had the muster started at 8. So 6 o'clock was 170k and 8 o'clock's 90k. And Jeremy was like a minute, I think, looking at the result, he was just behind the leaders of the muster. So just amazing.
Me like I was standing still. Like some guy was saying, coming through right, I was like, what's going on down there?
Like,
first of all, why is he behind me? Because he's going so fast.
Is he on an e-bike?
What's going on there? But it turns out he'd already ridden like 70k's more than I had, and he was going past me like I was standing still. It was super impressive.
And it's amazing because you're so fast.
Well, I don't know.
So you are, Richard.
That fast at that point anyway.
No, but it's quite cool when you see these elites and how
they're actually elite.
They are elite. So world class. It was pretty exciting. And then the Hunter Way we were following. We had Sophie who was coming. She was leading for quite
Yes,
a while.
She
Yeah, she only just got
past
picked.
the other way from me.
Yeah.
All I just saw was a big smile. She was loving it.
So that's cool. I just love hearing stuff like that because, you know, it's a real adventure for most, but then we do have a race going on, so it's fun seeing them and watching the guys come back and, you know, their stories. You hear them like and they're just covered in mud and they're just yarning, you know, and it's like, wow, it's just, you just sit there and start to soak it in. It's a pretty cool day.
And I guess this will probably happen tomorrow and the next day as you kind of reflect on what you've done. But it's pretty cool from your perspective of being able to put this event on and people to be successful and have an adventure and it's kind of down to you and your kind of, what should we do this? Should we organise this? And you are pulling strings and making sure this actually happens.
Yeah, it's been a big week because we actually had a B course planned weeks ago. But then this week when I was just like, no, we got to get everyone up on this farm because like the landowners, it's such a privilege to get on there. And I feel like everyone's kind of come to, you know, do something you can't do every day.
Yes.
So it was like, let's just rejig everything. So the team pulled together, like it's been phenomenal. Like it's been I think there'll be some pretty tired people tomorrow morning, but everyone's pulled together and all the locals of like the farmers have been helping. We had the Simpson family that cut fences for us so we could get through the horse trekking place and so we didn't have to go on the highway.
Okay, cool. That's
Ringing Fulton Hogan and like last night late, you know, and just talking. It's been a week, but I just think it's just cool seeing how everyone wants this race to be successful. And I know the town love having everyone here, it's just the whole thing's a real feel good. It's just,
and you had a bit of information last night about because it was a B course and it was kind of last minute. You did really well making a call at sort of 8 a.m. yesterday morning. We got an email from you to say this is what's happening. So well done on making like a tough decision, but just making it this is what's going on, so people could prepare for that. But also, like you run a running race as well. That's here too.
Yeah, it is.
You mentioned to me about the vibe of mountain bikers versus runners.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Can we talk about that?
That's appropriate. It's quite interesting. I think the bikers are pretty relaxed. Like no one really cared, and I was feeling we were quite anxious about the feedback. We're like, oh, everyone's going to be really grumpy about having to change course, but literally not one bit of bad feedback. I think, you know, people were like, I think we only had one person even asking during the week what was going to happen. For the run, we probably would have had a really full inbox, I think. And then we have had a bit of a laugh because for this race it's 70% men. And then I was like, are men more chilled? And then someone joked they probably didn't read the email.
Well, that's what I said to you last night. They probably didn't read it. They probably don't even know.
No. So then I'm like, we'll go with that one. But no, really cool. It's just a really fun day. And we got House of Hot here with the beer and everyone's just lying on the grass and soaking up. It's actually hot.
It is actually hot.
It feels like
just
summer.
I need some more sun cream.
I'm going to be sunburnt today. And I haven't got no sunscreen on because it's like, who thought you get...
Kerry, we need to go and do that. But I need to say, as part for I've had feedback as I've been wandering around with the camera talking to a bunch of people, but they basically said we just need to thank Kerry and the team, the Scenic Sports team, of putting this event on and all the great things they do. And I mean, we're looking up the finishing chute now, the vibe of everyone sitting out on the grass and hanging out in the sun and things
they've got
like
shirts off.
Exactly.
You can see them in the thing. Like it's summer here.
Yeah, that's right. So I just wanted to say well done and thank you for all you do. Obviously, it is a big week and there's stress and there's things going on in the background and you're like a duck with going.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that because it's how it feels.
Gas.
Like I think, but I just feel like it is like, it sounds, but it is a team thing. Like it takes a village and, you know, and it just, I think we just have a really good bunch of people here and so everyone and it's fun last night, everyone was so tired and then you look around, there's a couple of people absolutely fizzing. I'm like, no, just like, what next? And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then it's all contagious and then it just goes, but just really cool. So, and I just think it's amazing. Our numbers are up so much this year and I'm just like, hey, it's exciting. So,
Finisher whizzing past. Gosh,
he's still going really quick.
He's got that's
wow,
awesome.
That's like as fast as it.
You talked about team, your family. Stu's obviously charging around doing things, but I saw kids are helping.
Yes,
and your eldest daughter was out on course as well.
Yeah, I had two this year. That was fun. Cool. So Jonty did the Merino and Lucy did the Hunterway. So that's pretty cool. And sort of, I'm pestering the timekeeper, going, sorry, and just wondering how they're going. Where if they pass that point, I'm being really annoying, but I think I can. But that was fun. It's like a family affair, and the youngest one's helping, and Stu's we don't even talk about what's happening. We just seem to just look at each other and he'll be like, I'm off, so it's pretty cool. It's a big family thing. Yeah. So I might be the face of it, but it's pretty much our Stu and our hobby. Like that's pretty much what we talk about. It's
which
pretty
is cool
cool
to be able to do.
It's fun. Stu, a lot of these ideas, like the dog bark off, that's Stu's idea. Like he's pretty because he comes from a farming background, so it's trying to make this as farmy as we can.
Yes.
I mean, the shepherds were awesome. Like that was pretty cool. I have got a really great. I might put it up with the dog. That's a good story. The shepherd started off this morning and the dog, and then there was one rogue hunterway right out on the the leaders had to kind of pull back, and I was thinking, okay, so I got the safety management plan and my risk assessments, and at not one point did I put the rogue dog. I'm like, okay, next year.
About dogs,
because like someone's going to come up anyway. The farmer was,
get him on.
I might share it because it was quite funny. I was
Okay, well that's all right. That's all part of it.
That's all.
And it is like with your B course, it's an adventure. We'll figure it out on the way.
And everyone just got round. I think the camaraderie on course is amazing. Like Jonty said, he stopped up it's my boy doing the merino, said he stopped up the hill to have a drink, and he said everyone that went past him asked him if he was all right. You're right, mate. And I was like, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's real good.
Really
could be
nice.
a bit annoying as I'm like, I'm just having a drink.
I'm not fading. I know. But that was the thing I was sort of saying to people, like, if you pass someone who's got a puncture and they don't look like they know how to change it, just stop and help. If you're not trying to chase a podium, and we'll sort your time out.
That's right.
You just go and help them, and that's what this race is all about. Good fun.
Well we need a high five.
Yeah, we do need a high five.
Job.
I love your high five.
Well done,
so
Kerry.
thanks, Richard. You've been awesome.
Cool.
Great content.
Just like that. Well done, Kerry, and well done to all her team, as we've talked about all the way through this podcast. The vibes are where it's at for the Mackenzie. Fantastic views and super cool to get up into the proper big mountains at the top. Like, it was pretty claggy and things right at the top of the river as we were crossing those, but it was you could see that it was just there. I'm going to have to go back in 2026 to do the full lap. So let's hope that the weather clears like last year was, so we can really get a sense of being in the mountains as well. So if you haven't already entered, you need to do that. If you haven't booked the date, do that as well, because the date for next year is the 11th of April 2026. So get in, book your accommodation in Tekapo, make sure you make a weekend of it, grab your mates, come along for an awesome adventure on your bike, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. So thank you for listening, Team CP, for getting us down to the Tekapo to be able to take part in the event and also bringing this podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed listening to it. Until next time, team, stay safe, enjoy riding your bike, and we'll catch up soon.